Hello, thank you for having us. I am Lisa Kelly, Head of TBMO at NatWest Group. I'm here today with the TBMO team, and we would like to present to you how we use TBM tooling and principles to build value partnerships and work better together. But first, my team would like to introduce themselves.
Hello, my name is Paul McShane. I've worked for the TBM office in NatWest Group for 2 years, and I'm responsible for supporting cost transparency, IT planning and the cloud cost management modules.
Hi, I'm Julie Batty. I've been the TBMA for the NatWest Group for just under 3 years, focusing on CT, CCM and data link.
Hi, I'm Lucha Doyle. I'm an eTBMA and I've been part of the TBM office at NatWest Group for 4 years. My main focus areas are cost transparency and user training.
Hello, my name is Ibrah. I have been a part of the TBM office in the NatWest Group for approximately 3 years now. My BAU role involves running IT planning and providing support and training for our customers and users. I have worked for the NatWest Group for approximately 12 years now. Prior to working in the TBM office, I have worked in finance and financial control. First, who are we? We are a bank of brands. NatWest provides a wide range of products and services to personal, commercial and large corporate and institutional customers. We have approximately 290 years of history, around 19 million customers and 70,000 employees. We are a purpose-led bank, which means we champion potential, helping people, families and businesses to thrive. This purpose sits at the core of all of our decision-making and applies to everything that we do. To set the foundations, we have identified 3 areas of focus where we can make a big impact. First is enterprise and the barriers that too many face in starting a new business. Secondly, learning and what can we do to improve financial capability and confidence for our customers and communities, as well as establishing a dynamic learning culture for all of our colleagues. And finally, climate and the role that we can play in accelerating the transition to a low-carbon economy.
The business of banking is radically changing. We all know that we are living in an even more complex world. Our customers' behaviours are changing. They are more demanding, expecting us to be proactive, anticipate what they need, and deliver it in ways that maximise customer convenience. Customers now expect instant gratification and deep personalisation of safe, simple and smart services. Digital savvy individuals are always on, and this need for immediacy tests traditional models of customer service. That need for immediacy is also what our customers want and expect from TBMO. In the last year, we have used TBM principles to create transparent and dynamic cause and effect outcomes to support the bank's transformation programme. This has raised the profile of the TBMO. We have seen an increase in demand from the business, and we have created new valued partnerships and have developed an understanding of the unique value we, the TBMO, are providing to the business. Before we go on to learnings, let's hear from the Head of Cost and Portfolio Management.
Hi, I'm Jed Hope, Head of Technology Cost and Portfolio Management. Having a strong cost focus has always been the cornerstone of any successful company, and it's more important than ever right now as we all operate in a global economic downturn. Ensuring we have a strong cost control ethic, strong cost management capability, and relentlessly looking to drive costs out of the organisation are more important than ever right now as we help NatWest to continue to become a smaller, safer, simpler and purpose-led bank. We need to ensure we have the right people, we need to ensure we have the right processes and, of course, the right tools to deliver real-time, accurate, accessible data and underpinned by compelling insights. It's an exciting and challenging time at the moment to be in the cost management arena, and we're really delivering great value to our technology business, but we're also cognizant there's always more to do. So we've embedded a real mindset of continuous improvement embedded into our culture.
So what will be the key learnings from today? Number 1, invest in the right tooling. Number 2, create linkage to data to enable you to pivot from one source to the other. And thirdly, embedding the TBM culture within the organisation using the TBM framework.
So, what was our old way of working? We were working in silos and there was no single source of data. The team are going to take you through how we went from that silo view to this, where we are working better together and the benefits that come with that. But first, let's hear from some of our customers.
My name is Andrew Prescott, responsible for cost operations in services in NatWest Group. What does IT planning bring to me and my team? Firstly, it gives a real granular level of detail of the contracts and the headcount view within individual forecasts. It also allows us to see transparently where growth and savings are within that position, and importantly, where people have moved off of their commitments within their budget submission, so we can track effectively how we're moving to what we need to deliver with our full year forecast.
Hi, I'm Stuart McRae. I work in NatWest Markets Group within services, cost operations, focusing on technology cost management. How does IT planning tool help me in my role on a monthly and daily basis? Well, on a monthly basis, it provides a granular and transparent view of the forecasts, predominantly focusing on contracts, FTE and man-day costs. Split that by different areas within technology so that management can see performance against prior cost commitments, but also how the forecast is performing against run rates. Due to the flexibility of the tool, I'm able to take snapshots in time so we can check on progress, which is specifically important when trying to drive through management actions in time for month-end reporting. When we come to budget, we use the tool to help understand the cost story, both at different areas within technology, but also at the holistic technology position to understand baseline, but also understand our growth and savings off that baseline position so we can understand the year-on-year movement and explain why the costs are moving year-on-year.
Hi, I'm Pete Brown from Services, Performance and Business Management in NatWest Group. My role is to ensure that the group leverages the wealth of technology information available in cost transparency. That transparency covers cost to service to consumption interrelationships, and this then means we've got two broad lenses at our disposal. Firstly, a consumer viewpoint, which allows for technology cost story to be told and traced all the way back to source, and also a supplier viewpoint where technology as a supplier can see who, how and where their costs are being driven from. Crucially, the bottom-up data approach to cost transparency ensures that a focused discussion, for example on a service that's only say 0.01% of a technology cost base, will safely reconcile to the big picture. Understanding of prioritisation, cost impacts, consumption impacts, business impacts are all now much better informed.
Let's now take a look at IT planning. IT planning is the primary budget and forecast tool for technology services within the NatWest Group. Prior to the adoption of IT planning, our old processes were far too reliant on Excel spreadsheets. They lacked any consistency in forecasting principles across the various technology businesses within the group. The process itself was heavily dictated and reliant on our colleagues within finance. And finally, it was very time consuming and cumbersome obtaining any consolidated information on our entire technology business, again due to the reliance on Excel and the requirement to consolidate multiple spreadsheets to provide a consolidated view, and also the process itself is then subject to Excel error or human error as part of the process. So upon adoption of IT planning, we had three main aims and objectives of what we wanted to achieve. The first was accountability. We wanted to make sure that all of our cost owners were accountable for their budget, forecast, and actual spend against those budgets and forecasts, alongside the delivery of any targeted cost reductions which the group wishes to make. The second aim of IT planning was to ensure a level of consistency across all technology businesses and ensure that all contract and labour forecasting follows those consistent principles, thereby making comparisons and review and analysis across the entire cost base a lot easier. And finally, our final objective was to ensure transparency. We wanted to ensure that all costs within IT planning were transparent and understood and could be reviewed and analysed by not just the business managers themselves, but colleagues in P&BM, finance, and the aim of this was to ensure the removal of any sandbagging of costs. So, as part of the adoption of IT planning, we have noticed a significant reduction in spreadsheets which hold golden source data. IT planning is now regarded as our golden source of information for our technology forecast and budget. As part of this reduction in spreadsheets, our users, alongside other stakeholders, can go into IT planning and review, analyse their budget, forecast or actual spend against a variety of different lenses and slice and dice the data as they wish. They also still retain the capacity to export the data into Excel and conduct any offline reporting or PowerPoint pack creation. The next success that we have managed to achieve is adopting a multi-currency tool. Due to our business being global in nature, we have a significant amount of cost in INR and PLN, and we have thus managed to incorporate these currencies into our forecast and eliminated any currency or forex risk as part of our budget and forecast process. We have also adopted a perpetual 5-year rolling forecast. So prior to this, our annual process involved a 12-month rolling forecast, and up to our next budget period, we now have a perpetual 5 years of forecast within ITP, and we encourage all of our business managers to go into the tool every month and ensure that they review not only the current year but the following 5 years of cost to ensure that the system is updated with any latest information that they have. We have also adopted a far more detailed labour model and allow our businesses to do a lot more analysis on their labour in terms of role levels, location, and what element of the business that they reside in. Prior to this process, our labour modelling was done at a very high level on a cost centre average, negating any detailed analysis that could be done on that. Finally, as a result of adopting IT planning, we have noticed far more engagement across all of our stakeholders within the businesses themselves, performance and business management, finance, and the TBM office. So I will now talk to you a little bit about legal entity and transfer pricing. You will hear from the team about how we have built our general ledger into our IT planning module and business services into cost transparency to facilitate consistency across our customer journey. Taking this process one step further, this data gets presented to our colleagues in finance, who use this to calculate the onward allocation costs across the group and to calculate the legal entity transfer pricing. This data is then presented to our internal service management teams, who will use this to hold reviews and operational continuity in resolution. This singular view is all outcome-based transparency from beginning to end, which not only fulfills the group's regulatory requirements, but also enables a better understanding of the services so that decisions can be made across the business.
Thanks, Ibrah. I'm going to talk about cost allocations, but first a little bit of background. Due to a recent organisational redesign, the technology cost base was turned on its head, with the focus of aligning with our overall mission to become a smaller, simpler and smarter bank. This was possible due to the work already completed to embed several standard TBM methodologies within our BAU. To achieve this, several foundations had to be established as part of a complete cost allocation rebuild, with application TCO being one of the first and most fundamental foundations provided by the TBMO. This was achieved through specific reports covering application allocations from the original cost transaction through to services, all providing stakeholders with a self-service platform to drive the direction of their own costs. As a result, several programs were stood up within the group. One example being an application rationalization program partnered with our hosting services team, resulting in the validation of over 90% of applications, enabling the decommission of over 300 apps, and driving a server estate rationalisation programme, reducing physical servers by over 2,000 units so far. Another foundation was the automation of data ingestion, with the benefit of streamlining our month-end and budgeting processes, taking advantage of several data link connectors, one being ServiceNow, all refreshed on a monthly basis, reducing the number of touch points when loading data. The benefit of this was increasing the accuracy of data alongside improving relationships with the data owners to ensure changes are communicated prior to any implementation. And working with the CMDB team, ensuring all application and infrastructure changes are implemented after completing impact scenario testing with the TBMO and approved by our allocation alignment forum, ensuring adherence to change governance. Another foundation is stakeholders. For our domains, we aligned IT resource towers to individual areas, enhancing our consumption allocations and providing TCO at a lower level, creating a common language leading to business-wide impact decisions, which has improved the accuracy of our budgeting process. For our service managers, we have enabled self-service reporting dashboards, providing defensible and accurate figures for actuals, forecasting and budgeting, linking these back to ITP, ensuring one harmonious view of the end-to-end cost allocation process, all aligned to a customer journey. The latest foundation implemented is Services TCO. By building a new allocation model driven by business services, we have enabled the creation of customer-led KPIs, empowering our stakeholders to make decisions based on accurate and defensible allocations throughout the customer's journey. I know this all sounds great, but what tangible savings have come out of this work? As part of these foundations, we've introduced dedicated business services to highlight managed test servers, orphaned infrastructure, and orphaned applications for customers to use as leverage in influencing their costs, in rationalising their app and infrastructure consumption, in turn providing a full end-to-end TCO of technology within the NatWest Group. Also identifying our critical apps to ensure a steady experience for our customer and enabling stakeholders to monitor and target these critical applications, directly seeing the value of their decisions within their bill of IT in the subsequent month. As you have heard, all of the work completed as part of these foundations has enabled a greater level of transparency for our customers, putting their experience in focus and positioning the TBMO as an intrinsic service, not only within technology, but for the wider group, all underpinned by embedded TBM methodologies, enabling change management conversations backed by defensible data and developing impact strategies, as well as ensuring we are constantly change ready. I'll now hand over to Paul to talk about cloud.
Thanks, Julie. I'm going to talk about the cloud cost management module, which is the latest tool that we have implemented at NatWest Group TBM office. The implementation of CCM has really been driven by NatWest Group's cloud first strategy, a strategy which is looking to re-engineer all of our applications to become cloud enabled. The current cloud model at NatWest Group includes both a private cloud solution and an external public cloud solution. And we also use an internal recharge mechanism which enables us to provide accurate monthly cloud costs based on consumption to the business units, domains and projects responsible for that cloud consumption. Indeed, it was the internal recharging that really drove the requirement for CCM. It highlighted where we needed to improve our cloud reporting and provide an additional level of transparency on the cloud recharges being applied to our customers. So the initial ask from our enterprise cloud platform team was to provide a self-service tool that enabled our customers to access their monthly cloud costs, that provided additional transparency on their cloud costs. Also, a shift in mindset from our customers to move to self-service solutions, and in turn to remove some of the manual overhead that had built up on our ECP team in servicing cloud cost inquiries, and also to provide trend analysis data that would help improve the forecast process of future cloud costs for our customers. So with that initial ask in mind, prior to any implementation, we spoke to various stakeholders across the group with a view to embed certain prerequisites. One major prerequisite we undertook in conjunction with the ECP team was a tagging exercise of our public cloud resources, really to ensure that the information the customer wanted to see reported from CCM could be extracted from CCM. So to map cloud resources to the relevant business unit or application or project using those resources. That tagging exercise enabled that, and in conjunction with that there was also a governance forum set up to ensure any new services or products brought online also adhered to those tagging guidelines going forward. From a TBMO perspective, we spoke to customers of CCM really to understand what mattered most to them and what they wanted to see from the CCM tool. And these initial discussions really highlighted the value that CCM could bring. And also from a TBMO perspective, it highlighted how we could leverage the existing inventories within our cost transparency model and using those quickly turn around a CCM solution that would provide immediate customer value. So after an initial testing phase, the user base for CCM has grown considerably, and we're now at the stage of seeing the benefits in our day-to-day processes. So our businesses now have a single, accessible, flexible tool for accessing both their public and private cloud costs. They have the improved visibility and confidence in the recharges being applied to them. They also have access to the trend data of their cloud cost, which is enabling a more robust forecast process for future cloud costs. And this more robust forecasting is then fed into our IT planning tool to provide an overall picture of cloud forecasts across technology. Along with that robust forecasting process, CCM also affords us a view of when change cloud costs will move across and impact run budgets. So the owners of those run budgets can now see that with greater clarity and forecast that in their outer years and build that into their forecasting process. Additionally, within CCM, we have a comparison price points between public and private cloud solutions. So this enables us to run technology more as a business, and these price point comparisons can inform future business decisions on cloud solutions. So all of those benefits we're seeing from the implementation of CCM. We've also had very positive feedback from our ECP team. They were extremely happy with the implementation of CCM and the collaboration across the group to get the implementation up and running. They have confirmed from their perspective, they are now referring all of their cloud cost inquiries to CCM in the first instance. And as a result of that, they have seen a reduction of 70% in the time that they spend on cloud cost inquiries. In addition, they can see a real shift in customer mindset towards that desired self-service approach that was part of the initial ask. And so much so that they now have plans to bring additional cloud resources and recharges in scope for CCM, and they will be expanding the scope of CCM in Q4 of this year. So in summary, the benefits that we're seeing from CCM, the growth in the user base and the plans that our ECP team have to expand the scope of CCM have really embedded CCM as an important part of our cloud cost model at NatWest Group, and we fully expect to see benefits from CCM going forward. I'm going to hand over to Lucia now, who's going to talk about user training and governance.
Since the implementation of Aptio tools, engagement and training have played a pivotal role in how we manage our growing user base. One of the things that we have introduced are group training sessions developed by us in the TBM office. We provide new users with the basics of TBM and allocations to engage and really enable them to be self-serving. We advertise these sessions via our new user communication emails. We cover who we are, what is involved, and a high-level view of our model, equipping them with a better understanding of their allocations from beginning to end. We are always looking to adapt to our domain's needs. Recently, for one of our domains, we actually participated in a commerciality education session with the aim to improve commercial mindset and awareness. Another tool that we use is having a dedicated mailbox for queries on the allocations, creating a single point of contact, and we've actually seen a reduction in the number of queries being sent into the team, as the users already have a good background knowledge and can self-serve the information they need themselves. It's also really beneficial for the users to receive regular communications on month end, bill of IT publishers and any new features available. Also, regarding new user setup, we have a robust identity and access management process, as well as using single sign-on, which ensures compliance with security policies, but also allows us to get them set up quickly. It also gives us a good platform for audit compliance. So, as a sidestep from this, we have several governance processes in place, which enable us to regulate any issues or changes that arise. We have the user working group for ITP, attended by representatives from across the domains, who have the opportunity to raise issues and highlight any changes in the budgeting and forecasting process. Then there is the Allocation Alignment Forum, specifically for cost transparency, where representatives can put forward changes to ownership or metrics, whether it be an application, service or contract. So lastly is the Aptio Change Committee, which covers the whole toolset, and here any changes to the methodology can be put forward, discussed and rejected or approved. We think it is really important to share best practices, and we are huge advocates for the TBM community and the benefits that result from it, through providing our own best practice but also gaining valuable insight from others. Now on to Lisa for some key takeaways.
Key takeaways. With over 350 Aptio users spanning all communities, we have considered all elements to ensure a complementary and optimised combination of people, tools, processes, controls and common artefacts. It is not about having a specific tool or team or process, it is about embedding all of it. We have worked from the top down, and the key elements of the framework are controls and governance, putting in place the right touch points and decision points to allow better informed decisions. We use the right tools to ensure we have the right behaviours and actions in place. Our centralised standard processes and tools ensure activities, whilst run in a distributed manner, are aligned, complementary and supportive. Our service catalogue is a central structure to view our costs and underpins a single view. These common views are transparent and dynamic to reflect cause and effect outcomes. They help make conversations about commerciality data-driven. Rebuilding to show customer journeys with the cost lined up behind the journey provides end-to-end accountability and transparency of the total cost with the intent to ensure the business decision maker owns the cost as well as the risk of making that decision. We identified roles, objectives, training and gave them all the accountability to manage their own costs.
We created this infographic to showcase what we are doing to transform technology costs within the group and what we can achieve when we work closely with various stakeholders, ensuring we are now better together. As you have heard and seen, we push ourselves every day to make our TBMO the centre of technology decisions within the bank. Obviously, this hasn't been easy, but with the right team, sponsorship and the determination and drive to push TBM, anything is possible. So what do we recommend? On Monday, re-engage with the executive sponsor. Ensure your mission for cost allocations, planning or cloud visibility is in line with their strategy. Then in a month's time, expose the data shortfalls. We identified orphaned infrastructure and applications that were being removed from allocations but were still costing the business money to run. By exposing these new services, we were able to rationalise the corresponding estates. Then finally, in 90 days, ensure your service catalogue is completed and implemented to direct your allocations. We have found this to be central to focusing our rebuild and enabled the granularity of our allocations and providing greater transparency of our costs. This has been so successful business-wide that we have established a technology-specific service catalogue to drive the direction of our department within the business. So that's it from us. Thank you for listening to our story. If you have any questions or would like to get in touch, please reach out via TBM Community. Thank you.